We are back in the blue game for a special edition of a reward challenge. This time, instead of our players competing in their tribes, they are competing in their loved one pairs. And so here to explain the challenge and how it will work is Kelsey.
Yeah, so right now they're competing in their pairs. As far as the order, it was just kind of random. So we got Joe and Anthony, Mel and Andy, Gina and Francis, Casey and Veronica. Only one of these pairs will move forward to the second round, which is down on those tables. In order to move forward, they have to be the first group to cross those cones. But in doing so, they both have to maneuver across this balance beam, holding this little pull apart contraption. If they fall off the balance beam, they have to restart, or if their pole drops to the ground at any point, they have to go back and restart. So first one to cross the cones gets to advance.
All right, as we can see, they are holding the classic tension poles.
Go!
All right, and they're off. Some people are off to a huge lead. We've got Anthony and Joe.
A big drop from Andy and Mel. They're still hanging on. Oh,
all right.
Mel, you have your foot. All the way back. Yep,
Ooh, Casey fell. Everyone fell off the balance beam. Everybody's got to reset. Joe and Anthony immediately doing a touchback and coming back. Joe crossing first, Anthony right behind.
Joe's across,
and Joe and Anthony are across.
And just like that, the first heat is over. Joe and Anthony have won.
All right.
Move your contraption back to your starting point, and we'll get ready for the next heat.
All right, Joe and Anthony moving on to the second part of this challenge, and they are just waiting to see who they will face off against. We have the other 4 pairs of loved ones in the blue game that will now be competing in this challenge as well. So, competing in this heat is going to be Caitlin and Ethan, John and Joelle, Emma and Logan, and Louie and Connor. So as we can see, they have the classic Survivor tension rods that they are holding, except they have to hold them together.
All right, we'll wait for Alicia to get out of the way.
Gotta get clear.
Okay, survivors ready? Go!
All right, and they're off.
John with the sprint
John and
to the balance
Joelle
beam.
off to a
Logan
big start.
fell, John
Connor
fell.
fell. No, they fell.
It looked like he jumped off early, but I couldn't.
No, they
Nina's
fell.
pulling you guys back. Sorry, Connor and Louie. Caitlin is going barefoot. Can they make it through? Can they make it to the end without dropping their foot?
Caitlin and Ethan have made it
Moving
through.
on.
All right. All right, part 1 of this challenge is done. We are going to now make our way over to part 2. Joe and Anthony will be facing off against Caitlin and Ethan.
Don't get in the way.
Yeah, you have to stay quiet during that.
Yeah.
All right, so we are now coming over to our second part of this reward challenge. Pairs are competing, and the 2 pairs that will be facing off are Anthony and Joe, and Caitlin and Ethan.
This side and one will sit
We are just setting the final piece of this challenge, and then we will explain it to you and the players.
Pay attention. There are 4 keys. There's a different way to open each key, and it's based on a different sense. So, touch. You are going to reach under the table. Don't look under the table. You two, when you reach under the table, there's letters under the table. You're going to tell them when you feel them what the letters are, which will unlock this lock. For smell, there's 2 essential oils.
So that's
The
what
first
they are
letter
trying
of
to
the
spell.
essential oil fills in the question marks of the lock. Sound, there's a mallet. This is a Morse code answer key. Over here is 2 Morse code
codes.
It's codes. So it's 5 letters going down. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And they cannot. They have to do the tap so that their partner answers it, not them if they know Morse code.
Right. So you have to use this to tap or whatever you want to do. Up to you to decide. Taste. It's a 3-letter code. They're in the whipped cream. You have to use your mouth to get them out of the whipped cream, and then you have to own your mouth, and then you have to use those numbers to unlock the last lock. The first pair to unlock all 4 locks wins reward. Kelsey, do you want to tell them what they're playing for?
Yeah, so we just figured, you know, we have all the senses, and we thought we might tingle your senses in the morning with some coffee and munchkins. So, who wouldn't want to
Big
start
reaction
with
from
some extra
Caitlin.
Calories and coffee. Any questions?
All right.
How do we choose who does what?
So while the players are figuring it out,
You have to feel. Some more stuff.
so this is a 4 senses challenge. Yeah.
So there's 3
So this is a
numbers in
challenge
there.
for the senses.
The number-
I'm gonna come over here to show you guys actually. It'll be out of the way. So we have 4 different locks. Each lock corresponds with a different sense. And so players will have to move through all 4 senses working together in order to figure them out. First we have touch. So this player on this side, so Ethan and Joe, yes, are going to be feeling and to feel these letters down here. Give me like 10 more seconds. To undo the first lock. They will then smell these essential oil thingies to unlock a lock.
You're good, but I can come over there and
They will then be using Morse code to tap for sound, and then they will be eating their way to some clues with that whipped cream. All right.
All right, survivors ready? Go.
All right, and they're off. So we've got Ethan and Joe feeling for the letters. Joe not quite sure what he's feeling.
So it looks like they're both working on touch right now. Trying to feel the letters under the table and communicate to their partner what the correct code is.
Ethan whispering what he's feeling so that the other team does not overhear.
Anthony's big finger.
All right, Caitlin and
struggling
Ethan
to
are
not
through
move all of the
their
letters
touch
at
lock.
once.
They are moving
It looks
on
like
to smell.
Ethan and Caitlin have their first lock undone. Moving on to smell. It's definitely something.
Something?
All right, Caitlin and Ethan still
Caitlin
whispering.
moving on to her second smell. And as a reminder, when you're putting the smells down, make sure you put them in the right order. That way you don't mix it up.
All right, do they have it? And they do.
Okay, Anthony and Joe have their first lock undone.
They are moving on
Both
to
working on the
smell.
smells now.
Can we do it again?
Oh. Anthony tearing apart the set.
Anthony really getting in there.
Joe looking very
Caitlin and Ethan moving on to the Morse code portion. They have chosen to bypass smell for now.
Caitlin and Ethan working on the Morse code.
Listen and look. Okay.
Ethan thinks he has it after a moment of possible confusion.
Not far enough up. You gotta like click over there.
All right, Ethan thinks he's got another one.
I know it's
We're checking back over with Anthony and Joe.
Right here. What's yours and what's mine? I said mine.
Joe.
Yours first was mine
Friendly
second.
I don't have the
conversation
letters.
between the two of them.
Is that the third one?
No, it's not it. It's not it.
Can we switch smells?
Yeah, you can switch. Just try to remember the order because that is important.
All right, they are mixing up the smells now.
Well, there was more.
So yours was here.
Yeah, I know.
So yours is
My
first?
letters were
Yeah.
not even on there. Go. Third one.
Yeah, yours is right.
All right, Anthony and Joe thinking they're onto something with the smell. Caitlin encouraging Ethan. Ethan not saying what he thinks it is, just going straight for the solve.
Caitlin and Ethan have the Morse code lock now. They still have the smell one though, right?
Right.
Ethan going right in for the taste. To remind everyone, they don't actually have to know what it tastes like. They're just fishing the numbers out of the pie.
Which is mine. I tried everything for that third letter.
All right, Ethan with
I guess we're
another
gonna end up in the same place.
tag.
With 2 out of the 3 numbers.
Oh, I think you're.
All right, and Ethan with the third number.
Okay, that might not be in order. I just have to get them in the correct order.
Ethan flipping them back over so that they cannot be seen.
You can only touch them with your mouth.
Walk out of line.
All right.
No, that's not right.
Make sure you're not confirming or denying, Anthony.
All right, Ethan and Joe moving on to the Morse code portion, trying to unlock their hearing lock. They also have bypassed the smell.
Anthony saying a lot without saying anything with his face. Ethan and Caitlin still trying to figure out the smell lock as well as the numbered pie lock. Anthony getting more creative with his hammering. Joe maybe figuring it out.
I'm just going in order.
Sure, we're not
Matrix. All right, Caitlin and Ethan in deep concentration.
Caitlin and Ethan, you guys are good. I was just making sure that Joe and Anthony weren't
All right.
Oh.
Oh, and just like that, Anthony and Joe going in the Morse code.
He's got his first number. Joe wants nothing to do with it.
Anthony going ham on these tags.
Okay.
Slurping up that whipped cream to clear the numbers off and spitting it right out. It's no part of that whipped cream or the energy it might bring. Joe now working on that lock.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm in the splash zone. It's fine. All right. Meanwhile, Caitlin and Ethan are on their very last lock, the smell lock.
Girl, if you don't pick up that first one.
I don't know what either one smell like.
Girl!
Ethan starting to become a little bit more vocal with Caitlin.
You know you want that coffee, girl.
My hands smell like metal.
All right. Caitlin smelling straight from the little bottle this time.
Right, so.
All right.
Okay, let's think. What is it? Like olive oil?
Anthony and Joe still working on their locks.
Anthony gets the smell off. It's down to Joe with the numbers, and Ethan and Caitlin with the smells.
Just keep trying stuff.
I'm trying. I've done the full
I don't know
wheel.
what they are.
So the last one
Only
is
so many combinations the numbers should be.
Did you
Yep.
do the blind?
I did do the blade.
All right. Both teams on their last lock, trying different combinations. Who will be victorious and win the prize?
That's like
Yeah, that's the last one.
That's a pull. That's not a squeeze.
Oh.
Anthony
Oh,
thinks
All right. It's fine. It's fine.
Try every single letter
wait,
after
that
that.
Joe might have been working the lock wrong.
And
And Ethan and Caitlin have their final lock off the board.
wow, that was such a close challenge.
So we are empty-handed for you now, but we will have a delivery in the morning.
All right. And Kelsey, one more time, what did Caitlin and Ethan win?
They won some coffee and Munchkin Donuts in the morning.
All right, gonna start their day off
All right.
caffeinated.
Great job, everyone. You can head on out and we'll break it down.
All right. That's that for this blue game challenge. The red team, the red game will be up next.